Hello everyone, this is Shamsi and welcome back to the channel. We're ending our 8-month YouTube hiatus today by talking about all things mining unit. In the Demeter update, Novacork changed planet mining completely, and so today I want to walk you through setting up mining units, calibrating them in the calibration minigame, and also how to manage your mining network across the whole solar system from a central location while using VR. Please do excuse the base, it's still something of a construction site. And also, if you're here only for the mining unit minigame guide, I have timestamped all sections of this video in the description below, so do feel free to skip ahead. But otherwise, let's get going. To place a mining unit, you need to have a static construct for it to attach onto. So let's quickly plunk down a core. And the other thing a mining unit definitely needs is a container. It won't work unless it has a link to a container to dump the ore into. So suppose I wanted to place my mining units on this platform here, and I wanted to place them on top of these voxels. It wouldn't work, but I want to test something out here. If I were to place a mining unit on top of voxels, so that the game's obstruction collision system would detect voxels there and try to activate it, it would say that the mining unit is obstructed and requires direct access to the ground. But what would happen? Now, this was something of an exploit that existed right at the start of beta. It's actually what I used to build my hauling pyramid over there, and that still works. So let's see if it would work now, sunk into a solid block of voxel. Yep, it works just fine. So if you wanted to have mining units in an existing base and you don't want to cut holes in your floor or anything like that, all you have to do is sink the mining unit in slightly to the ground. Just to double check here that it would work. Now what if I half cut it through a floor like that? It works just fine. So you don't have to use the solid block exploit at all. You can simply plunk it through your floor, through the voxel, and incorporate it in however you like with your base design. But let's say I don't want to pull any of those shenanigans. Let's get rid of this block. And I simply wanted floating mining units for the sake of demonstrating their placement for a video. Also, do bear in mind, mining units do obstruct themselves within this placement range. So control moving 3 times will have them stay blocked. So these two are obstructing each other. I need to move it across one more so they're not touching for that to work. And that really is all there is to the placement and starting of a mining unit. It needs a static core, it needs a container to dump the ore into, and it needs unobstructed access to the ground below to fire its lasers. Avatar damage isn't in the game yet, so let's see. Beam me up. Right, okay. Now, once you've placed a mining unit, it's going to draw out a certain amount of ore per hour. Now, it's important to note that these values will never deplete. This is the worth of the tile for the rest of the game until they change the mining system again. So as you can see, this tile will likely need 6 mining units to fully draw everything out of its tile. There we go. So that's all of the bauxite being mined, all of the hematite. Obviously we're going to get this measly amount of coal in 1 mining unit, and all of the quartz probably as well. So as you see, it took 6 mining units to fully max out this tile. The other thing to bear in mind in yield per hour is, on top of base rate and our efficiency multipliers, is adjacency multiplier. What does that mean? It means that for each adjacent territory to the one being mined that we own, we get a 10% bonus to yield. That means if I owned all 6 tiles around the tile that I'm mining, I would get a 60% bonus to yield. Now, tiles do cost 1 million quanta per week in tax now for upkeep, so it's up to you to decide whether or not it's worth it for you to get 6 tiles with 40% efficiency, 1 tile with 60% efficiency, and maximize your yield that way as well. So, let's talk calibration. To calibrate a mining unit, you need charges to play the minigame. These regenerate, for me with my talents right now, every 3.65 hours, and they stack up to 10. So it is maximally efficient to log in almost every day to spend your points. Once you've calibrated a unit, you can't calibrate it again for 24 hours. So let's say if you had a mining network somewhere out, say on Sinin or Io or whatever, and you're mining tier 2 and tier 3 ore as well, then you would have the mining units that you want to have at maximum efficiency done first, and then work your way down the list, making sure to up the efficiency as much as you can through calibration. As you can see, we're currently at 0%. So let's calibrate. I'm going to use one of my charges here. Now, there are many different ways of doing this, and it is also somewhat of a game to do with luck. I have a friend on my Discord, Joe, who says that he draws lines or a triangle around the map to see if he can find hotspots, but everything you do draws battery power out of the mining unit. Everything in this menu is explained, so we can send the probe to a specific point. We can scan and reveal a circular area that we can increase and decrease in size by scrolling our mouse button. We can draw a line. We can have the game point to the highest concentration of ore within this circle. And also we can have the game paint a cone pointing towards the highest concentration of ore within this circle. And the way I normally like to start is with this cone. So I'll scan here, and we know that the highest concentration in this circle was over this way. So let's get a circular area and just see what's here. As you see, I am depleting the battery of the mining unit as I'm mining. Now I see a hopeful area here. I could see what would be the highest concentration. Let's overlap actually a little. And it's pointing me right to that corner, so let's see what's in that corner. Again, I'm using my mouse scroll wheel to adjust the size of the circle, and I've seen 100% hotspot. Now, I have done this exact same method in numerous other tests that I've run, and I haven't found 100% mark. These'll do, these lowish density areas, if that's the best you've found, because even if you cancel out of this, you cannot then recalibrate again for 24 hours, but you can, if you like, pull the mining unit up and place another one. And so what we're going to do is select point, click select final calibration point, and then mouse over till this density reader reads 100% on top of this hotspot. Click, and there we go. As you see, this was the only hotspot on the entire tile. If I'd started, say, over on this side and made my way over to these corners, I would not have seen this. So sometimes it is simply a matter of luck. Finding the 100% increases calibration gain, and also the amount of ore that is spawned. By that I mean, when I hit finish here, a patch of 4,300 bauxite is spawned that I can pick up with my harvest tool from the ground, and that stays here. If I close this, it's put on my map automatically as a point that I can navigate to, clear across the other end of the tile. But if I navigate somewhere else, I can always come back, click on Calibrate, and then set as destination or copy coordinates again, just to show you what that looks like. Even with a jetpack, I'm not going to run that distance. I wouldn't do it IRL. I'm not going to do it in a game. We've parked our Scorpion over there, and this is what you'll find when you get to that point. You'll find some massive rocks and a cluster of smaller rocks between 50 and 400 liters. I haven't had cause to have my harvest tool equipped in such a long time. Let's put it back on the bar, and as we see here, this is 400 liters of aluminium rock, so bauxite, which is what we just calibrated. So in reality, your mining rate is much higher than what is written on the mining unit if you come and harvest these rocks every time you calibrate. It will add up. The price of ore is very crazy right now. But it's up to you to decide whether or not this investment of time is worth it, especially if it tries to make you jetpack across the other end of the tile while you're there in VR or something like that. So as we saw, we went from 0 calibration to 78% calibration in one charge by getting a perfect calibration minigame in. Let's deliberately scuff one now to see what would happen if you don't get a perfect one in. Now this is maxed out on bauxite. This one as well, at optimal rates it can get 100% of its capacity out. But this one, yeah, this one was mining the small amount of bauxite left over, the 27%, so let's scuff this one. But I'm still going to run the minigame properly to show you once again. Let's start calibration. So remember, read through these tools, bear in mind these all take energy, and the larger areas you use, the more energy they take. So we're going to start with our cone. We're going to go to a random corner. It's pointing that way, so let's do the opposite corner. Right, so let's now reveal area here. What's over here? Right. We have found another hotspot by sheer luck. So, let's select, let's say I didn't find 100%. Let's say I found this amount. So, 35–40%. And I set that as my final calibration point. What that means is I get no calibration bonus. I get the gain of 68%, which bears in mind all of my talents and so on, and I only spawn 1500 liters of bauxite rather than the 44 or 48 something that was in the 100% calibration before. Close. And as you see, the difference between the perfect calibration was 78% to 63%. Now that is really the most important part of this, and so it isn't the end of the world. If you get a calibration that doesn't go well, leave it, try again tomorrow. It simply means you get less percent calibration gain for that charge, which isn't that bad at all. It's still mining, and as you see, its base rate is 33, and with our efficiencies we're getting 48.48 liters. Now this one that isn't calibrated obviously isn't producing anything, so you do need calibration for it to be mining. I'm gonna go through that one more time here, so feel free to skip ahead. So yeah, this is my method. There are many like it, but this one is mine that I like to use, so if you like to use it as well, do go ahead. Although if there's better ways, please do let me know down in the comments so you can help me and everyone else calibrate our mining units well. And there's a hotspot there, so set final calibration point, 100%, 95, good enough. And yeah, 74% gain because of an 11% bonus. I'm continuing to calibrate until I get one that doesn't go well, just to show that this method is not foolproof. But here's another perfect calibration. Okay, so yeah, I mean I deliberately did it a bit badly, but yeah. So I'm almost out of charges. I'm gonna pick a random place now and see if there's anything good here. This draws a direct line to the hottest spot, right there. And hopefully, yep, not too great. And now we can set calibration point. The highest I can get is about there, 45%ish, 39%. Oh my God, we were so close. If I had moved, that's so bad. Right, there you go. So don't feel bad about this type of result. The difference is I got 63% calibration gain rather than, you know, 75, 78 that I would have gotten over there. Not the end of the world. I can come back and try again tomorrow. And now, all of these are mining happily whatever ore they can pull out of the ground. And in an hour, it'll start dumping that all in there. Now let's pretend the Orangery of the Gods here is not the high-end entertainment center that it really is, and is in fact a mining station. I could use this surrogate VR pod to connect to here in VR. Yeah, I don't think I can set linked container in VR, but I can pull a mining unit or two out. As you saw, in my character with my talents, with a perfect calibration, I had 78% calibration gain, and with an imperfect one of around 40-45%, I had a 63% gain. So let's see what happens. So apparently I can't place cores in VR right now. The game does often develop bugs and lag and issues straight after a new release, so we do have to bear with it. But hopefully I can... I did press build mode like 10 seconds ago, but there we go. Let's place our mining unit down. Okay, that's all set up. Now, let's mine bauxite. So, set final calibration, 100%, 97%, finish. Well, that's very interesting. In person, so in my character, with 95% efficiency, I'd gotten 75% calibration, I believe it was. I'll go back and double check. In VR, in 97% efficiency, I only gained 48 calibration. So yes, here we go. It was 74% with a better result than the one I had in VR. Now, what was written in the patch notes was that the talents for calibration specifically carry over into your surrogate VR character. Though from my testing here, as of the date of recording, the 25th of November 2021, it seems as though those talents aren't applying. So, what I wanted to say to you here is that right here from your central location of your base, you could manage your entire solar system-wide mining network. Though that is still true, it won't be efficient. So what I recommend that you do is you hit me up for a warp shuttle, like this sexy ship right here, the Series HX2, and spend the minimum amount of warp cells to get around. You can see the warp cells are quite expensive. So when in the market for a warp shuttle, make sure that the price from Alioth to Lokibus, which is the furthest almost warp that you can do, is no more than 6 warp cells here. So one of the metrics that you look for is warp cell cost from Alioth to Lokibus, If it's 6, then you're good to go. Because apparently we do have to warp around the system to manage our miners in person, because the VR does not work as of yet. I'm sure it will soon enough though. So when buying a mining unit, the price of producing one is roughly a little bit more, I would think, off the top of my head here, than a container L. So do come have a look at the price of container Ls, which are fairly well established in the market, and make sure when buying a mining unit that you are paying there we go. So this 498 here is a good price. Yeah, I would pay no more than 500k. So this one here and anything above it I would ignore. Yeah, try to pay at the moment with the current prices no more than about 500k. And if you want to benchmark for a very well established item that everyone needs all the time, have a look at the price of container Ls for comparison. But that is all from me for now. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed making one again, and I will hopefully continue to do so on a regular basis, perhaps even a weekly basis moving forward. If you have enjoyed this video, do please consider liking it and also subscribing to the channel. Those two things do really help a great deal. And please do also let me know what you think. If you simply want to vent at the update or the fact that the VR doesn't work or whatever, let me know. I'm always happy to listen. And also, if you have a better way of running the calibration game than the one I figured out over the past day, then please do let us know down in the comments. And maybe I'll even do an update to this video showing the calibration game again. So, thank you everyone for watching. That is all from me for now. Until the next time, take care and bye-bye.